Here's a story about one of the most famous and wealthiest kings of Egypt, Tutankhamun. And we're going to talk about the curse of Tutankhamun. When the king died, he buried in the pyramid where he was laid to rest his wealth, his gold and silver coins. Now, he was buried in a sarcophagus. Next to that was the inner sanctum, a chamber that was built on a solid concrete slab base. This was deliberate to avoid any evil spirits from rising from the ground. We have a replica here, and you'll see that on the concrete slab was this solid glass case that covered the casket that held the jewels, the gold and the silver. If we have a look inside, there is the silver coin. Everything was solid, from the casket to the solid concrete base, along with the solid glass cabinet. Now, if anyone stole the coins, a curse was placed upon them. And this was evident because over the centuries, there's been many stories, maybe just rumours, of people that attempted to steal the wealth from the king. But when explorers eventually opened up the inner sanctum in the early 19th century, nothing was missing. And this is because of the curse of Tutankhamun. Anyone that stole gold and silver from him, dead or alive, the curse was placed upon them, and the jewels would end up back in the inner sanctum. On one such occasion, somebody stole a silver coin. Everything was put back in place. The casket, the solid lid was placed on top and covered with the glass case. Everything protected by the two pharaohs either side. Now, to leave the pyramid, because of its size, would take over 24 hours. That meant that anyone stealing would have to spend one night in the pyramid. Now, as nighttime fell upon the pyramid, a thick mist would gather over the pyramid overnight. Screams could be heard from within. As nighttime turned to daylight, the jewels, the coins, were gone. So too were the people that attempted to steal from the king. It was when the explorers came along and opened up the inner sanctum, found everything was as it should be, including the jewels within a solid casket. They had returned to their place of origin, and all that on a solid base. And that is the story of the curse of Tutankhamun. Now, for me, I've been a collector of Tenyo stuff for years. I haven't bought much Tenyo for about 5 years now, for the simple reason that I find a lot of the Tenyo stuff is very plain and basic nowadays. Don't get me wrong, they're great tricks to perform on family and friends, but back in the day, certainly in the late 70s, early 80s, they used to come out with great inventions that were all mechanical. So you didn't have to do anything. It did all of this automatically. Secret compartments, flaps and trapdoors and levers and springs, everything was included. So these are the props that you get from this original invention by Tenyo. Now, although it's been manufactured by other companies over the years, and this one I picked up years ago for just £8, brand new, from Toys R Us. So I thought I'd show you how the system works. It's absolutely ingenious. This is when Tenyo were good, when they used to invent some great mechanical devices that did all the work for you. Everything as it appears, the solid base, okay, the solid box and glass cabinet is actually plastic. But how does the coin get from here into or through a solid base, through a solid box, and this and this? How does it do it? Well, if you think about the logic behind it, it can't go through solid plastic, okay? And it can't go through a solid lid. So you can write that off as to that is not possible. But let me show you the absolute ingenuity of Tenyo. I love this. If you have a look on the patent office, the instructions and mechanics are available for download on there. So how does it work? Well, it all looks clean, but watch what happens if I press here. There's a secret button that when you press here, it releases a lock. Let me show you what happens, and I'll do it in slow motion. If I do it side on, watch. The whole platform comes down, the coin drops. Now look at that. If you can get a good shot of that, that is what happens on there. You got this little platform that swings down under this coin holder. The coin drops through the slot straight into the box. As you then come to put this down on the table, it gets pushed back up like this. Absolute ingenious. Love the mechanics of this. Okay, so with this, you've now got the coin. Let me show you that without all the covers on. So this goes in here. This is why the lid is slightly bigger, because as this drops, the lid rests on the platform. So the coin goes in here. As you release the catch by pressing the button, this swings down. Look at that. It swings down and it drops in and comes back up. That's how that works. Now let me just show you that again from a different angle, because then you can see the way the coin slides down. Tenyo thought of everything. Okay, and as this comes down, now look at this little flap here. It acts as a slide. The coin will slide down this. As this comes down, there it is there, and comes back up. Now all of this is under cover of the lid. And that is the ingenuity of this little toy trick. I think it's one of the best Tenyo inventions. And again, I know some people will say, why have you revealed the secret? listen, you're not going to get this again. And on YouTube, there's 2 other videos that I found straight away where people had already revealed the secret. And as I said, the patent for this is downloadable online as well. So, but it's absolutely ingenious.